watching Fox Sports. Home to the All-Star Game, the American League Championship Series, and the World Series. America's grand game is on Fox. We are Fox!
Time has come to explore baseball's past. But understand, it is a journey not for the weak of heart. An adventure not soon to be forgotten.
The camera highlights in the world of sports.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man.
Baseball has entered a brave new world, and Fox has the hottest stars on the planet. It's a game of strength, explosive bats of power, finesse, defying gravity with graceful elegance, speed, the overpowering velocity behind a blazing fastball. Through the generations, baseball has created a world of dreams, but it's time to wake from those dreams and blast into the future of a whole new ball game. Baby, it's the one and only Fox Saturday Baseball.
From the sparkling skyline of New York City out to Shea Stadium on a gorgeous day for baseball, 82 degrees and sunny. We get ready to bring you Major League Baseball on Fox and the Dodgers and the Mets. And hello, everybody. My name is Joe Buck, along with my partner, Tim McCarver. Happy to be working with Tim and happy to be bringing you Major League Baseball here on Fox. You'll find us here every weekend, every Saturday, through the regular season, through the playoffs, and then we'll crown our first season with the World Series here in 1996. And Tim McCarver talking about this game specifically and the Los Angeles Dodgers. They have not been what people thought they would coming into the season. A little disappointing, but they busted out last night for a season-high 16 hits.
Well, Joe, if hitting is contagious, and it certainly is, well, the Dodgers had an epidemic last night, and the right guys were affected, too. Roger Cedeno, the leadoff hitter and center fielder, filling in for Brett Butler, 5 for 5. Eric Karros with a big 3-run home run. Mike Blowers with a 2-run home run. But the very fact that Mike Piazza played and homered, a big plus for the Dodgers.
Meanwhile, for the Mets coming in, baseball people said, and I still don't know who baseball people are, but they said this New York Mets team would be a serious contender for postseason play. So far, it hasn't worked out that way. Maybe it was a little unfair coming in with this young of a team.
I think unrealistic because of the youth, not because of the talent. I think the Mets have the nucleus of a good ball club in the future with Jason Isringhausen, Paul Wilson, and Bill Pulsipher. When the left-hander went down earlier in the year, that really affected their chances. But the additions of Lance Johnson and Bernard Gilkey have helped the Mets cause mightily this year.
These Mets will take on those Dodgers. It's a beautiful day for a ball game here at Shea Stadium. Sunny, 82 degrees. We're glad you're with us. First pitch, lineups, everything coming up when we come back. We'll come back to Shea Stadium after these messages from your local station.
Shalom, I'm Yael Eckstein, president of the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Tonight on The Story Behind the Story on TBN, you heard a shocking story of someone whose life was connected to the Holocaust. For more than 40 years, the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews has been instrumental in providing vital assistance to thousands of Jewish people affected by the tragedy of the Holocaust. This evening, as we remember one of humanity's darkest chapters, our mission assumes a profound significance. Because right now in Israel, the ongoing conflict and the rise of anti-Semitism continues to cause widespread sorrow, loss, and fear. It is the prayers and support of our Christian friends that are invaluable to the Jewish families that we aid daily. Today, we have a special gift for TBN viewers, the booklet, Work of the Heart, 10 biblical lessons on the power of prayer. When you call the number on your screen or go to ifcj.org/prayerbook, you can get the book Work of the Heart for free today. This book is not just a gift, it's an invitation to continue to pray and stand with the nation of Israel. Please call or visit ifcj.org/prayerbook today to receive your free copy of Work of the Heart. By calling or going online to order this free booklet right now, you're showing your support for Israel and you're reinforcing your dedication to pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Did I lie? Did I lie? It's a beautiful day for baseball here at Shea Stadium.
It is, and you didn't.
I did not, and it's some of the best weather the Mets have played in here at Shea Stadium, and well, it's just like being in Los Angeles. Give you a look at Tommy Lasorda's lineup, brought to you by Miller. Leading it off will be Roger Cedeno. He had 5 hits here last night. Todd Hollandsworth batting second and left. Mike Piazza, he homered in his first game back here last night at Shea Stadium. And Eric Karros is batting in the cleanup spot. Raul Mondesi in right. Delano DeShields, the second baseman. Mike Blowers, Juan Castro, the shortstop. And the pitcher batting ninth is Tom Candiotti. Mets take the field right on cue. Things are working well. It's Gilkey, Johnson, and Jones in the outfield, left to right, with Kent, Ordonez, Vizcaíno, and Pettigini on the infield, third to first. Brent Maine doing the catching today. Todd Hundley has the day off. And on the mound is the right-hander, Pete Harnisch, who sports a record of 3-3.
And a lot has been made about the Dodgers having Mike Piazza back, and they're certainly happy about that. Well, the Mets are happy to have Pete Harnisch back, undergoing an 8-game suspension for a fight that occurred against the Chicago Cubs on May the 11th of this year, about 3.5 weeks ago. And here it is, Pete Harnisch getting a ball thrown behind him by Terry Adams and then popping Scott Service, the catcher for the Chicago Cubs. Harnisch had hit Kevin Foster, the starter, in that game, and that's why Adams threw behind Pete. Pete also missed the last 2 months of last season, shoulder surgery in late August, and then he had Lyme's disease in December, and that did not bode well for his rehabilitation. He was set back in spring training, his first start on April the 14th.
It's a pretty good shot he got in there on Scott Service.
Yes, it was.
I mean, normally in a baseball brawl, a lot of push and shoving.
And the thing is, Scott Service and Pete Harnisch are good friends. I asked Scott the next day about the fight. He said Pete Harnisch is the best friend I have in baseball.
No, he didn't. He said the best friend I had in baseball, or he should have. Here we go. Roger Cedeno will lead it off for the Dodgers, to be followed by Hollandsworth and Piazza. Cedeno last night, a 5-hit night.
Only 21 years old. Doesn't turn 22 until the middle of August. And in there primarily because Brett Butler, and it's a well-chronicled story, Brett Butler with cancer, detected about 3 weeks ago, and Cedeno doing an admirable job filling in.
Took a ball, and for the year hitting .271, no home runs, 8 RBIs, now takes a strike, and it's even at 1. Still questions as to whether Roger Cedeno has enough speed to lead off. for this Dodger lineup. He does have 4 stolen bases. Was caught here last night by Todd Hundley. 2 balls and a strike. If you can get a table setter in front of the kind of hitters the Dodgers have backing up this leadoff spot, well, then you have an offense that can crank out some runs.
You have Piazza, Karros, and Mondesi in the 3, 4, 5 slots. Very formidable.
Cedeno pops it into center. Glasses down. Lance Johnson, 1 away. Umpires here this afternoon. It's Bruce Fremming behind home plate.
Batting second, number 28.
With Charlie Williams at first base, Steve Ripley at second base, and Mark Hirschbeck, who worked the plate here last night, at third. I know you're a big fan of Bruce Fremming.
I am. If there's one guy that I would have to umpire a ball game, a big ball game, say 7th game of the World Series, Bruce Fremming would be the guy behind the plate.
There's Bruce. Mask and all. Todd Hollandsworth digs in. Takes a ball. Hollandsworth hitting in the 2 spot. A 284 hitter, 3 homers, 15 RBIs. And 7 stolen bases to his credit in 1996. Strike 1. Hollandsworth right now filling the void in left field. They have been searching for an everyday left fielder for a while now. As he takes ball 2, we saw Ashley a lot last year. They're starting to mix him back into the lineup. For a left-handed bat, this is the guy, Todd Hollandsworth. Not doing much against the Mets this season. And Harnish falls behind him, 3-1.
And again, we talked about the age of Roger Cedeno. He's only 21. Hollandsworth only 22. It just takes time. People lose sight of that. I think sometimes broadcasters lose sight of that too.
That's out of play and a full count on Hollandsworth. Nice sized crowd here on a Saturday afternoon at Shea Stadium, but the attendance so far this season, Tim, has not been what the Mets had hoped for.
Mets are down about 20% in attendance this year. One of the big reasons they did not get off to the start that a lot of people thought they would.
Ball 4 skips into Hollandsworth and a 1-out walk, and that spells danger with a guy like Piazza coming up next.
Dallas Green taking over the New York Mets in 1993. Tommy Lasorda, on the other hand, took over the Dodgers September 29th, 1976. Dodgers with only 2 managers over the last 43 years.
Piazza digs in, 1 on, 1 out. Tommy Lasorda has been with the Dodger organization for 47 years now. And he has a personal attachment to the man at the plate. Piazza takes ball 1. It's well documented. Piazza's father and Tommy Lasorda, very good friends growing up just outside of Philadelphia. And not bad for a guy, Piazza, who was drafted in the 705th round of the draft. When he was
1,612 players drafted before Mike Piazza. Tommy Lasorda had to beg and plead with Dodger management to sign him.
Ball and a strike. There are few guys, Tim, who have the capability to make the contact like Mike Piazza makes, and he's leading the league hitting .372, but also have the raw power of Piazza. There might not be a stronger hitter in baseball.
Everybody talks about Albert Bell. Certainly he's strong with the Indians. Mo Vaughn with the Red Sox. Frank Thomas with the White Sox. Several guys in the National League. Fred McGriff of the Atlanta Braves. In my judgment, nobody's stronger pound for pound than this guy. Opposite field home runs, he hits them like left-handed hitters do.
Piazza gets back in with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. 1 on, 1 out. First inning, no score. Just missed. Try to make that perfect pitch to a guy like Piazza. You fall behind, then you're in even more trouble with Karros waiting on deck.
Pete Harnish came inside to Piazza in Los Angeles, and Mike hit a 2-run homer against him. I was talking to Pete before the game. Pete said, I still can't believe he hit that ball out of the ballpark. Inside fastball.
Runner not going on a 2-1 count. Now it's 2-2. With Piazza at the plate, a runner at first, and down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, that red dot in this case, is representative of Todd Hollandsworth. Now, had Cedeno been on base too, there'd be dots over first base and second base.
Dot.
.com. 1 on, 1 out in a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Piazza. Hollandsworth has 7 stolen bases. Harnish has fallen behind the last 2 hitters, now has a 2-2 count on Piazza. Hollandsworth is running the pitch, a ball, and Hollandsworth steals his 8th bag of the year. Brent Mayne does not have the arm of Todd Hundley, and now Mayne is 0 for 10 in throwing out base stealers.
Looks like Brent leads with his elbow. It's a lot tougher for a catcher to throw a runner out with 2 strikes, because if the ball's close to the strike zone, they want to stay back and get the pitch. That's why they don't come out normally like they would if there weren't 2 strikes on the batter.
And now a count of 3 balls, 2 strikes on Piazza, and a runner in scoring position for Mike here in the first. It's ball 4 and 2 on with 1 out. Harnish barely missed, and now in a first inning jam with Karros coming up.
Batting fourth, number.
Talked about that inside fastball that Pete gave Piazza in Los Angeles. Well, he stayed away with all 6 pitches, and this pitch very close, but it was low. Interesting to note that Pete Harnish had gone 59 batters in a row without walking anybody, and he walks Hollandsworth and Piazza in a row here.
And now 2 on, 1 out for Eric Karros. In at the knees for strike 1. Karros has not kicked it into gear, hitting only .219, but 9 home runs and 29 RBIs. The Dodgers, when they have been winning lately, have been winning with the home run ball, not with prolonged rallies and a lot of hits. Ball and a strike. The Dodgers come into today's action 29 and 26. 5.5 games behind San Diego in the NL West, and there is no doubt the San Diego Padres are for real.
A very, very good San Diego team, and once they get Ken Caminetti back there on a regular basis, they'll be better.
Out in front just a bit, and a 1-2 count. In the National League West, you'll find the San Diego Padres on top, with the Dodgers 5.5 games out in second place. Colorado and San Francisco both playing .500 baseball, but 7 out. The Padres seem to have a nice mix of veteran leadership, some good young ball players,
and a great bullpen.
Absolutely. 2 on, 1 out. That was the 20th pitch of the inning, and it's a 2-2 count on Karros.
Now, Pete Harnish has had a tough time in the first inning. 5 of his last 7 starts, he's given up runs in the first.
In danger of doing it here today. Got Karros up now, Mondesi on deck. Eric doesn't like hitting with a plane going by overhead, so he'll step out. You see a lot of hitters and pitchers doing that here at Shea Stadium.
An ex-Met that loved to hit with planes coming over was Rusty Staub, and hit very effectively in this ballpark, thinking the pitcher was bothered more than he was.
2-2 to Karros. Now a full count. So a long first inning for Pete Harnish.
Do you send the runners here to stay out of the double play? I think I would. If you're Brent Mayne and the runners do run, I think your play's at second base, not third.
They are going. Karros, a foul tip. Mayne popped up. I'm sure visions of a strike him out, throw him out in his head, and he couldn't hang on.
See, Piazza is bothered by the bad knee. So if you're Brent Mayne, the catcher, and the runners do run and you get the strike, you go for the guy with the bad leg and not for Todd Hollandsworth.
Looks like he's looking at third base as he pops up, but he actually never got any leather on that foul tip. Going on the last pitch, likely to go again. They are going, and Karros another foul. Harnish has walked 2 in the first inning, a stolen base behind him, and Eric Karros trying to make him pay for it. Just underway in a long first half inning for Harnish. 3-2 to Karros. Runners going. That's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. 3 walks in the first inning, and Harnish is picking up right where Bobby Jones left off here last night. And Greg Pavlik hoping that Harnish can find the strike zone. Here in the first inning, bases loaded, and Mondesi coming up.
I think the very fact that Pete has missed a start is showing here in the first inning. Prior to the first inning here, he had walked only 7 in 47 innings this year, and he's walked 3 in 2/3 of an inning to open this game. So the layoff has affected him, it appears.
Mondesi steps in. Raul hitting .244, but he has been hot lately and has totaled 12 home runs for the year. That's out of play. Another alarming statistic, Tim, for Pete Harnish. The amount of home runs he has allowed. 10 home runs in only 47 innings pitched coming in.
Elementary math tells me that that's 1 every 4.7 innings, right?
Just made an old math teacher proud somewhere across this country. Bases loaded with 1 out for Mondesi. This time Harnish jumps out in front 0-2. 3 walks in the inning, a 1-out walk to Todd Hollinsworth. He stole second, then a walk to Mike Piazza. He's at second, and a walk to Eric Karros. He's at first. Bases are loaded for Tommy. He just can't wait to explode and start clapping, Tommy Lasorda. And he hopes that Mondesi gives him a reason to clap.
0-2. Pete Harnish wants to go out of the zone to the free swinging Raul Mondesi. Mondesi, with only 5 unintentional walks this year and 221 at bats. When he's a defensive hitter, he will swing at anything.
Here comes the 0-2. Wouldn't chase. Mondesi definitely still in that category of an undisciplined hitter.
Yeah, you keep dropping the same cork in the water. You keep teasing him away off the plate. And eventually, based on past performances, he should swing at a ball.
Chance for Mondesi to put the Dodgers on top here in the first. Bases loaded, 1 out, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Spoiled that pitch up and away. Still 1-2. Mondesi backed up now at a ball and 2 strikes. New York Mets a record of 22-30 and unfortunately residing in the National League East. To the left side, through Jeff Kent and into left. Hollinsworth scores. Here comes Piazza. He'll score. The runners end up at second and third, and it's 2-0 Dodgers. And the crowd here at Shea all over Jeff Kent already.
Well, the difference between a boo and an ooh is a B. And they have booed Jeff Kent lustily here at Shea this year, primarily because of his defense. This will go as a double. A tough play for Jeff, but had he made the play, he could have stepped on third and had a chance at Mondesi at first.
Instead, Kent gets no one. 2 runs come in to score. The other runners end up at second and third, and the batter is Delino to Shields, who hits with the infield in. Good play by Pettagini. Karros doesn't come home. 2 out.
I don't think that's a good play by the Dodgers. They have a 2-run lead. There's 1 out. The worst that can happen if you send Karros in this situation, first and third and 2 outs, because Pettagini would have to come home. That's why I think the Dodgers should be running right here, especially with the lead. Fact is, you take more chances with the lead than you do when you're behind. If you're behind by 1 or 2 runs, you can understand it, but not here. Good play by Pettagini to get the out.
So the runner still at third. That's Karras. Mondesi at second. 2 out now. And here's Mike Blowers. Caught the outside corner, strike 1. Blowers started slowly, which really is typical throughout his career. Just a .203 lifetime hitter in April, but has started to heat up, and last night hit a home run here down the right field line for his second National League home run. Chance for a 2-out RBI hit for Blowers. That's strike 2. Say this for Harnish, Tim. He has battled here in the first inning after getting Cedeno, walked, the bases loaded. Theoretically could have gotten out of the inning, but he bounced back after Kent couldn't make the play. He got to Shields and now out in front of Blowers.
And again, in fairness, that was a very difficult play for Jeff Kent at third base. Tom Candiotti, I'll tell you, he loves long outs in the top of the first when they're on the road. That means the Dodgers are doing something.
0-2 pitch, and that's out of play. Candiotti notorious for not getting much run support over the last handful of years. And I'm sure enjoying this first half inning with the Dodgers out in front 2-0. This has been a 33 pitch inning for Pete Harnish. Second and third, 2 out. Flowers had a pitch to rip, and it'll stay 0-2.
Yeah, people talk about control, and control doesn't only show up when you don't walk anybody. It also shows up when you can't throw a ball out of the strike zone. Count 0-2. An aggressive hitter like Blowers up there. There are times to finesse. There are times to challenge. This is a time to finesse.
Second and third, 2 out. 0-2 to Blowers. Down the right field line. Jones giving it a look, as is Pettiggini, who makes another good play here in the first to end the inning. Pettiggini takes it away from a fan. And the Mets and Pete Harnish out of the first. 2 runs for the Dodgers. Tom Candiotti to work. Bottom of the first inning. 2-0 Los Angeles.
Quick set.
We'll be right back.
Do you wish you had more physical energy? Would you like to be more mentally alert? Well, if you're like me, I want to live as long as I can and be as healthy and strong as I can for one reason, so I can serve the Lord for as long as I can. So today, I want to share with you a gift of better health that's come into my life just when I needed it. It's a red grape superfood from the Holy Land called Vinia, and it comes in the form of Vinia's superfood capsules and superfood coffee. Now, I first heard about Vinia from Matt Crouch. Then I heard Governor Huckabee rave about Vinia, and to be honest, I was just a little skeptical at first, but I want you to know that I really believe Vinia works because the science behind it is sound. Vinia gives me the physical energy I want and the mental alertness that I need to be my best and serve the Lord. I really think if you try Vinia, you'll love it as much as I do. Here's how you to try Vinia absolutely risk-free.
People everywhere are raving about Vinia, the breakthrough clinically proven red grape superfood for better blood flow. Vinia's unique phytonutrients significantly increase the dilation of arteries. This dilation increases blood flow and delivers oxygen and essential nutrients to your brain and heart to give you the physical energy and mental alertness you want. Vinia now comes in convenient coffee pods too. You can try Vinia risk-free for 90 days. If you don't feel more physical energy and more mental alertness, we'll refund every penny.
For all our TBN viewers, I encourage you, try Vinia for yourself. I think you'll feel a difference right away. Plus, when you order Vinia, you'll be supporting TBN's mission to help spread the gospel around the world.
To try Vinia risk-free, call 1-800-996-1080. That's 1-800-996-1080.
Now we're back and we're no jerks.
Because we're on Hotchkiss Network.
Dallas Green behind the shades. And his Mets trailing the Dodgers 2-0, bottom of the first inning. Here's the lineup Dallas put together before the game, brought to you by Miller. Lance Johnson leads it off in center field. Jose Vizcaíno having a solid year at second base. Bernard Gilkey has been a rock in this lineup. Then it's Jeff Kent batting in the cleanup spot. Roberto Pettigini is at first base. Chris Jones in right field. Brent Maine doing the catching. Ray Ordonez is the shortstop, and Pete Harnish pitching and batting ninth. A look at the Dodger defense. Hollingsworth, Cedeno, and Mondesi, who has that cannon for an arm in right, with Blowers, Castro, DeShields, and Karros on the infield. Mike Piazza catching, and the knuckleballer Tom Candiotti 3 and 4 on the mound.
Tom describes himself as a pitcher that throws a knuckleball. He does not say that he is a knuckleball pitcher. The best pitch that he gets over, as a matter of fact, is his curveball, his flop drop.
Here is Lance Johnson. There's the flop drop.
Flop drop to start him off.
And a strike. Johnson hitting .308, a home run, 19 RBIs. And the 0-1. Strike two. Lance Johnson, the table setter for the Mets, first year in the National League since coming up with the Cardinals, made his name with the Chicago White Sox, and is now the Mets leadoff hitter. Batting ahead of Vizcaíno, 0-2 pitch. Mike Piazza has the enjoyable task this afternoon of corralling that Tom Candiotti knuckleball.
With a sore knee.
1-2 pitch. Johnson almost came out of his shoes. 2-2.
Well, there are a lot of theories about how to catch a knuckleball, and I found that the best way to catch a knuckleball was to wait until it was finished breaking. Catch it as close to your body as you can. And interestingly, Duke Snider told me, the ex-Dodger great and Hall of Famer, that he learned to hit a knuckleball by catching a knuckleball. So if it's right to wait as long as you can to catch it, then it's right to wait as long as you can to hit it. And Duke was a very effective hitter with a knuckleball.
Lance Johnson in the back of the batter's box. 2-2 pitch. Jam shot to second. No one's at first base. Candiotti is, and makes a great play. Karros went too far to his right, and Candiotti beat Lance Johnson to first base for the first out.
He made a great play because he had to catch a low throw, find the bag at the same time. Candiotti taking nothing for granted on that play. Fine play.
How does Candiotti throw the knuckleball? We asked him.
The knuckleball for me is held with underneath the horseshoe of the ball, which we call right here, with 3 fingers, actually 2 underneath the seams, 1 on the side of the seams, and with the thumb kind of tucked underneath and the ball resting into the palm of your hand. And just as you release the ball, you almost thrust it, keeping your wrist a little bit taut, and the ball squirts off with little or no spin at all.
Candiotti took care of Vizcaíno on 1 pitch as he grounded to the left of Juan Castro, playing in place of the injured Greg Gagne. Vizcaíno, who was hitting .330, is the second out here in the first. So with 2 out, nobody on, as I mentioned, Bernard Gilkey has been it for the Mets day in and day out. 13 home runs, 47 RBIs. Takes a ball. No player in Major League Baseball has hit more home runs or driven in more runs with a new team than Bernard Gilkey, who came from the Cardinals over the offseason. Drops low, 2-0.
Also, you think of all the great hitters in both leagues having terrific years. He leads both leagues in go-ahead RBIs, too. 2 ahead of Albert Bell of the Indians.
No chance to do that here. Candiotti finds the strike zone, 2-1.
Flop drop.
There are times when it's not 50-50 for Candiotti throwing the knuckleball as opposed to the curveball, but there are times when it's close. That was the curveball, and that's the pop-up to center field for Roger Cedeno. A 1-2-3 first inning for Tom Candiotti. The flop drop, and the Mets dropped 1-2-3 in the first inning, and after 1 at Shea, 2-0 Los Angeles.
We'll be back after these messages.
They've been called the best comedy team of all time.
Congratulations! Oh!
Larry Larry, Moe, and Curly, the Three Stooges, like you've never seen them before. Digitally restored and remastered to bring you the Three Stooges Classic Collection. All your favorite short films collected onto 3 DVDs. You get all the slapstick, all the madness, and all the side-splitting laughter in one hilarious comedy collection you'll want to watch over and over. The Three Stooges pioneered the situation comedy and became a household sensation, making us laugh, slapping our knees, and shaking our heads.
Come on, kid, please say something. Something?
These three friends are the forefathers of comedy, and now you can bring home the very first sitcoms ever created with the Three Stooges Classic Collection, featuring their all-time funniest short films. You get 19 episodes, almost 6 hours of riotous comedy on 3 DVDs for just $29.98 plus $5.95 shipping and handling.
One for all for one. Every man for himself.
Now you can laugh alongside the real kings of comedy and relive how it all started with these zany adventures the whole family will enjoy again and again. Physical comedy never goes out of style, and the Three Stooges are as timeless as ever.
My! Ain't she pretty?
Boy, you can say that again.
My! Ain't she pretty?
Shut up.
Don't miss out. Call now to own the Three Stooges Classic Collection DVD set. And if you're a true Three Stooges fan, ask about these other Three Stooges Classic Collections. Call now to order the Three Stooges Classic Collection for just $29.98 plus $5.95 shipping and handling. Or order online at TVAtlas.com. Rush delivery available. Call now.
And now, back to our show.
Top of the second inning. In the first, the Dodgers got 2 runs on 1 hit, helped along by 3. Pete Harnisch walks, and Juan Castro, who was 5 out of 32 at the plate, leads it off. Into left field, off the end of the bat at Gilkey, 1 out. Right now, let's go back to Chip Carey in Hollywood for an update on the Seattle-Boston game. Chip.
Okay, Joe and Tim, baseball's top-scoring team at it early. Ken Griffey Jr. doubles to right center field, scoring Joey Cora. His 45th RBI put the M's up 1-0, but Tim Naring has tied it with a solo homer in the second.
Thank you, Chip. And the first pitch to Tom Candiotti is fouled back for strike 1. Candiotti only 2 out of 17 at the plate this season. Nothing in 2, and now Candiotti strikes out. That's the first strikeout of the day for either pitcher, and it belongs to Pete Harnisch.
Center fielder Roger Cedeno.
So a better start to the second inning. First inning, 3 walks. Did in Harnisch, and now Roger Cedeno walks to the plate. He flied to center to start the game, so 0 for 1. Harnisch needs one of these quick innings. After a long first, over 30 pitches in the first. Ordonez, a long way to go. Ray Ordonez, the sliding catch, and a quick and easy second inning for Pete Harnisch, and the defense helps. Ray Ordonez, you'll be hearing a lot from this young man over the years, and Ordonez helps the Mets get out of the second inning. A little slide and a catch. Bottom of the second inning, Mets bat down by 2.
We'll be right back.
Hundreds of thousands of satisfied customers are seeing the benefits of multi-collagen protein, packed with 10 types of collagen. And due to the feedback we have received, Dr. Axe and I have developed multi-collagen protein Brain Boost. The power of multi-collagen protein combined with brain-boosting benefits. Today, our best offer is when you purchase our bundle pack, including 2 bottles of multi-collagen protein Brain Boost powder and 2 bottles of multi-collagen protein Brain Boost capsules. You will save $30 off of the retail price and pay only $189.95. Best of all, when you order A substantial portion of each purchase will support TBN's worldwide ministries. Call the number on your screen. This offer is only available here at TBN.
Now back to our show.
Welcome back to New York, Shea Stadium. Bottom of the second inning, 2-0. The Dodgers out in front. Back to work is Tom Candiotti. Had a quick and easy first inning, and they're booing Jeff Kent as he leads it off here in the second. Kent let a ball get by him in the first inning for a 2-run double by Mondesi, producing the 2-0 Dodger lead. Flowers. One away.
Oh, you heard the boo of Jeff Kent and then the ooh of Ray Ordonez. That's really what the O is for on the back of his uniform. When he makes plays here at Shea Stadium, the crowds go, oh, baby. He can flat pick it. He's flashy, and he's very, very smart as a player.
One of the many good young shortstops coming up in the big leagues. You've got Ordonez, you've got Jeter across town, you've got Renteria, who a lot of people haven't heard of yet, but is playing for the Marlins and keeping Kurt Abbott in the minor leagues. You've got Rodriguez, Gonzalez, Pettigini at the plate, ahead on the count 2-0. You're right about Ordonez, though. You can tell he was trained well when he learned the game of baseball. He knows where to stand, he knows where to play, he knows the situation. To the right side, a fair ball for Karros to Candiotti. 5 up, 5 down for Candiotti.
I guess the first O with Ordonez opening day. Gilkey, and look at that, from his knees again to nail Royce Clayton on a potential tying run at home plate. Guy's a tough time making plays on his feet.
Well, he has that rare ability to be able to throw the ball from any position. Does not need to have balance to get the ball across the infield.
Yeah, Joe, he gets the ball and the throwing position across the seams very, very quickly. He has as quick a hands and feet as any young player I've ever seen.
2 out, nobody on for Chris Jones, the right fielder, batting in the 6th spot. And he takes ball 1 low. Jones is as good a right-handed pinch hitter as there is in this league. 3 out of 5 as a pinch hitter, as a matter of fact, but hitting only .209 overall. 1-1.
Chris led the National League last year with a .400 average, 10 for 25 as a pinch hitter, and that included 3 pinch hit home runs.
Golfs that one into center field for Cedeno. Finds it, shades the eyes, and that'll do it for the Mets in the second. 6 up, 6 down against Candiotti. We'll be back to Shea Stadium after these messages from your local station.
We'll be back.
This year, the fellowship helped over 2.1 million people around the world. We provided food, water, and basic needs to the Jewish people who needed our help. The fellowship served 3 million meals through fellowship-supported soup kitchens worldwide. We installed over 170 mobile bomb shelters near bus stops in northern Israel so children can go to school and return while being protected. We provided over 35 ambulances and medical vehicles to first responders. And we prepared over 600 emergency shelter kits for citizens who are living in public bomb shelters during the war. The fellowship helped over 6,000 people make Aliyah to Israel. We did this and so much more because you were there to help. And so for that, I want to say, Toda Rabbah. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Are we back?
We're back.
The Dodgers' 2 first-inning runs leading 2-0 over the Mets as we move to the third. The number 2 hitter in the lineup, Todd Hollinsworth, leads it off. Piazza and Karros to follow. Out of play, strike 1. Pete Harnisch, fresh off his 8-game suspension we talked about, and he is a New Yorker. Happy to be pitching with the Mets at Shea.
29 years old, from Commack, New York. He went to Fordham University.
Hollinsworth got under it into right center field for Lance Johnson. One up, one down, and now Pete Harnisch starting to settle into this game.
He's retired 6 in a row since that double by Mondesi in the first. I guess Dodger fans can relate to Fordham University, because back in 1951 a young announcer came out of Fordham and has been there ever since. Vin Scully. Vinny not here today, but he will greet the Dodgers when they return on Tuesday night.
Here is Piazza. One out, nobody on for Mike, who walked and scored a run in that 2-run first inning. Harnisch took care of Hollingsworth, and now Piazza hits it deep to left. At the wall, Gilkey can't hang on. And Piazza, with the bad knee, will end up with only a 1-out single. Any line drive off his bat has the chance to jump out of the ballpark.
First baseman,
it explodes off the bat. And you know, there's a lot of talk about team errors in baseball. I think this error ought to be on the wall in left field. Should be a wall error because it's in the glove. Nope, it came out before he hit the wall. But it's clearly a base hit, a tough chance for Gilkey, who is a marvelous left fielder defensively.
So now 1 on, 1 out for Eric Karros. Strike 1 from Harnisch. Karros his first time walked and was stranded. Piazza with a bad knee could only get the single, and it would take a lot to score him from first base off the bat of Eric Karros.
And you have to wonder, Joe, why Pettigini is holding Mike on at first base. I mean, it's been talked about a lot. The bad right knee certainly not going anywhere.
Strike 2 on Karros. There are a lot of teams who at times unnecessarily hold against a runner who you know is going nowhere.
I think so.
And that is one who we know will not be running. Not in this situation. Into right for Jones. Taking the roundabout way and can't make the catch. A foul ball. And Chris Jones looked like a pinch hitter playing right field.
Well, the Mets have had all sorts of problems with their right fielders this year. Butch Husky won the job from Carl Everett in spring training when he had 9 home runs, but a rather circuitous route that Chris took to try to corral that ball, and it's off his glove, but a ball that should have been handled, and it's going to be scored an error.
So an error charged to Chris Jones. That doesn't help out Pete Harnisch, who has to try to get Karros again. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And the Mets cannot stand toe-to-toe with the Dodgers. They can't outslug them, so they have to find the smaller things in the game to perfect, and certainly Dallas Green knows that. You just can't give a team 4 outs in an inning and expect to beat them.
Got him again. Good work by Harnisch. Didn't hang his head. Came back to pick up his second strikeout. And the second out here in the third.
Right fielder Mondesi.
Slider out of the strike zone. I'd say about 70% of swinging strikeouts are on balls that are out of the strike zone. That's because hitters are geared to hit the ball in the strike zone. That's when the art of deception is so important for a pitcher.
Here's Mondesi. Pops it up. Right side for Pettigini. Fights the sun. Makes the catch, even with Mondesi sitting in his hip pocket. So that'll do it. As Pettigini catches the fair ball, bottom of the third inning, Mets bat. They trail by 2.
I can't hear you.
We'll be right back.
Timeout, 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 timeout!
Listen up, get tight.
This is the most important timeout I've ever called.
Things are getting out of control out there.
And we need to regroup.
Hate.
Hate is winning out there.
Not on these fields.
In our communities. On our streets. In our schools.
And we need to stop it.
So let's take this moment
To change the momentum.
and call a timeout
On hate. Together. Together.
What was that, soldier?
I said, now back to our show.
Mets bat, bottom of the third inning, 2-0. The Dodgers out in front behind Candiotti, and Brent Mayne will lead off. Bottom 3 in the order. Maine, Ordonez, and Harnish. And for those of you who do not get the opportunity to see Ken Griffey Jr. bat, we'll look in live in Seattle at his at bat. Griffey, an RBI double his first time up, and he too is having to deal with a knuckleball. Joey Cora, the runner at third, and trying to figure out the knuckleball from Tim Wakefield. There's a runner at third, one out for Griffey. It's a 1-1 game, and Griffey will see another pitch.
This is something that perhaps will be unnecessary next year because of the introduction of interleague play. A lot of National League teams will be able to see Ken Griffey live next year.
Well, Griffey has been hot coming into today's game. His last 10 games, hitting .462 with 8 home runs and 21 RBIs. So Griffey grounds out. Cora scores and an RBI.
Get the ball. He made an out.
He made an out, but he got an RBI. It's a 2 RBI day so far for Ken Griffey Jr. Maine waits on a pitch, grounds it to DeShields. Good play, 1 out. Delino DeShields has made only 1 error and makes a terrific play to his right.
Sometimes other sports skills come into play in baseball. DeShields was recruited by Villanova. That looks like a steal by DeShields right there, and he threw it the length of the court to get Brent Maine.
So that's 7 in a row retired by Candiotti here at the start, helped out by his defense. And now with 1 out, nobody on, here is Ray Ordonez. Did not have a good year at the plate last year at AAA, but Tim, he is hitting .312.
Leads all rookies in hits and average.
Last Mets rookie to hit over 300 was Hubie Brooks. And Ordonez right now has to be the leading candidate for National League Rookie of the Year, but there is a long way to go. I wonder how many knuckleballers Ordonez saw in Cuba.
I don't know. He defected in 1993 during the Pan American Games in Buffalo, New York. And a very interesting story. One of 8 boys, and none of the other 7 children played baseball. But Ray has told me through an interpreter that his father was a better shortstop than he is. To which I replied, nonsense, in English. No disrespect for your dad, but I don't think your dad can do the things that you can do.
You said nonsense in English. He said no thanks. Had no idea what you were saying. 1 out, nobody on for Ordonez. Set up at a ball and 2 strikes. 2-2.
Of course, some great Cuban players. Tony Perez, Tony Oliva, a great player who, in my opinion, should be in the Hall of Fame. What a hitter he was.
And then lately with the defectors out of Cuba, Rene Arocha with the Cardinals started that train as Ordonez takes ball 3. Ariel Prieto is next with Oakland. And how good is Ordonez among National League rookies, leading the way. Batting in the number 8 spot, and I like what the Mets have done. They've put him in that 8 spot and just left him there. And he takes ball 4 for a 1-out walk, and that's the first base runner of the day for New York. I would imagine there's been some temptation by Dallas Green, Tim. You've got a guy hitting .312 to move him up in the order, but they're just letting him take it easy in the number 8 spot, and so far it's working out well.
I think he will probably be the number 8 hitter until a season unfolds for Dallas Green and sees if he does it over the course of a season. I think if you put him in the number 2 slot, that again is a little too much pressure on a first-year player.
So 1 on, 1 out against Candiotti, and the pitcher Pete Harnish at the plate, who was hitless in his last 30 at bats, but there to bunt. He finds the knuckleball and bunts a good one. Sacrifice good 1-3. And down to second is Ordonez with 2 out.
Joe, I think that was that flop drop, and that's really the easiest pitch to bunt.
Center fielder Lance Johnson.
That's the curveball that And, I guess you could say it goes from the mezzanine to the lobby. You can check it at home. Here's the mezzanine. There's the lobby. And watch the curveball to Pete Harnish. Mezzanine to lobby. I don't know. Don't ask me about the knuckleball. It stays on the same floor, but it visits a lot of different rooms.
I'm speechless. Strike one on Lance Johnson. Mezzanine to the lobby, down by the trash can near the elevator. And a bunt. And a sacrifice. And a runner at second for Lance Johnson, who could put the Mets on the board here in the third. Lance 0 for 1. Ball and a strike. Vizcaíno waits on deck, but it's up to Lance Johnson to keep the inning alive. Lance has 19 RBIs. Stayed high, 2-1. Ordonez a one-out walk, bunted down to second by Harnish, but the Mets still looking for their first hit of the day.
Infielders reminded in this position that if you can't make a play on a ground ball, knock it down to keep Ordonez from scoring.
2-1 to Johnson. Into left field, falling in a hurry. That's a hit. Ordonez will come in and score. Down to second is Johnson, and it's a 2-1 Dodger lead. First hit of the day produces the Mets' first run.
You hear it often that outfielders should hit the cutoff man. Well, the Dodgers don't even have a cutoff man. You got to ask the question, where was Mike Blowers on that play with the base hit the other way? There was no cutoff man. Hollingsworth's play was home, and Johnson goes to second base. Blowers really should be the cutoff man there, but nobody's there. And Johnson takes advantage of it by going to second base. You really can't fault Hollingsworth in that situation. Somebody has got to be between him and the catcher.
And it's a big defensive mistake because now the tying run is in scoring position for Vizcaíno, who's hitting .328. Takes a strike that caught the inside corner. Vizcaíno grounded to short his first time up. Tying run at second. Lance Johnson 2 out. Ball and a strike. See, these Mets hitters are patient, not jumping out of their shoes to try to hit that knuckleball or the curveball against Candiotti. Hitting coach Tom McCraw. Strike 2. How about up the middle? Ordonez, Vizcaíno, hoping that combination, the Mets are hoping that combination will tie the game here in the third inning. And I would say 3 of those 4 combinations are surprises. The Baltimore one being expected. 1-2 on Vizcaíno. Into center field. Johnson will score without a play, and we're tied at 2. Tim, they had Vizcaíno played up the middle, and he still got it past the shortstop.
And remember the point we made a couple of hitters ago with 2 outs and the runner on at second base. You try to knock the ball down if you can't make a play. That's what Castro tried to do, but the ball just out of his reach. But the throwing mistake by Hollingsworth, which was more a mistake by the Dodgers not having a cutoff man there, has burned them for at least 1 run here in the second inning.
And now
third inning.
It keeps the inning alive for Bernard Gilkey. Bernard has driven in 47 runs, hit 13 home runs, and he takes the ball.
I tell you how funny the game of baseball is and how important the little things are. Castro would have been even closer to second base had Johnson been at first, and he perhaps would have fielded the ball by Vizcaíno. As it happened, Johnson was on at second, and he scores the run.
Off the end of the bat, 1 ball, 1 strike. Mark Clark having to get out of the way of that. Sitting for Bobby Jones. And a 1-1 count on Gilkey, who has the go-ahead run at first and 2 out. Wooden chase, 2-1. I would imagine, Tim, before the end of the day, the shadows coming from behind home plate and creeping across home plate will become a factor.
Yeah, fortunately for both teams, there are not hard throwers as starters. Candiotti, of course, does not throw hard. Pete Harnish, 85 is tops on the radar gun.
Gilkey waited, flies to right for Mondesi. That'll end the inning. But the Mets a 2-out rally. It started with a 1-out walk. RBIs by Johnson and Vizcaino, and now after 3 it's Shea. Dodgers and Mets are tied at 2.
We'll be right back.
The adorable Curly Top, the indomitable Heidi, and the wonderfully precocious Baby Take a Bow. 3 Shirley Temple classic family films now available in this special edition Shirley Temple video collection.
Oh my goodness.
These are the original motion pictures, brilliantly restored for today's audience. 3 tales of timeless family values, values of innocence,
I wanted to talk to you about getting married.
of friendship,
Lean on me.
and of courage
When you walk that way, it makes me want to cry.
that will forever put a smile on your face, tears in your eyes, and a glow in your heart.
And it's awfully nice, too.
Generation after generation have taken this delightful curly-haired kid into their hearts.
I'm not a kid, I'm a girl, and today is my birthday.
Now, for a limited time, Hollywood's biggest little star is back for an encore.
And the most crackers in my soup. Monkeys and rabbits, loop-the-loop.
This charming Shirley Temple video collection, including all 3 priceless motion pictures, is yours to treasure for only $29.98. Countless children have eagerly snuggled alongside their parents and grandparents to enjoy these life-affirming films. Now, through this special television offer, you can bring these heartwarming adventures into your home to share with a whole new generation of children.
Oh, my duck does a wonderful trick. My duck can lay an egg. And just what is so wonderful about that? Well, can you lay an egg?
Millions of videos have already been sold, and once they're gone, these treasured films will not be offered on video again. Experience the magic of Shirley Temple. Call now.
Promise?
Have your credit card ready and call the number on your screen now to order this special edition Shirley Temple video collection for only $29.98 plus shipping and handling. Or send a check or money order to the address shown. Call now.
I talked earlier about Vin Scully not being here this afternoon. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. I am so sorry. Vinny is indeed here. I didn't see him before the game. I did see Ross Porter. I saw Rick Monday. I didn't see Vinny. I assumed that he was in L.A. and would meet the Dodgers in L.A., and obviously he'll be there. He came in between innings. He said, I checked my watch. I'm here.
He is here. We've verified that. Visually.
Oh, boy.
Delano DeShields leads it off. It'll be DeShields, Blowers, and Castro, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Dodgers here in the 4th. And DeShields behind on the count 0-2. Strikeouts are starting to pile up again for Delano DeShields. 47 strikeouts. And that's one of the reasons that Delano DeShields is not hitting at the top of the lineup. One of Delano's heroes, as he should be, is Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson, of course, broke the color barrier back in 1947. A big man for a second baseman, and someone who Delano DeShields really looks up to. Butch Husky as well. That's why he wears the number 42. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count on DeShields. Well hit, but right at Vizcaino. And the leadoff man is gone. Now, I know Jackie Robinson was known to be pigeon-toed. Delino DeShields is a bit pigeon-toed. Does that mean that if you have a hero, you have to walk like?
Have to walk like him? Well, Tom Tresh tried to walk like Mickey Mantle. Marvin Thornberry tried to walk like Mickey Mantle. So maybe indeed, but you know, when you get around to it, how many great athletes are not pigeon-toed? You don't see too many good athletes where their feet go out, or slew-footed athletes, as you saw Butch Husky at number 42.
Flowers hits it deep down the right field line. It is gone. Another opposite field home run for Mike Flowers. He did it last night. He does it today. And the Dodgers regain the lead. It's 3-2. Mike Flowers is as streaky a hitter as there is in baseball. He started out slowly, but right now he is a very hot number 7 hitter.
Shortstop Juan Castro.
2-run homer to right field in last night's game. And a solo shot to right field. Last night's ball was a little higher than that one. Doesn't matter how far, just if it clears. Home run number 3 for Blowers.
That registered 89 miles per hour on the radar gun.
Blowers or Harnish?
Harnish. It left a little quicker. And that, by the way, is the hardest pitch Harnish has thrown today. And that shows you what you can do with the velocity of a pitch. Doesn't mean much if it isn't in the right spot. Castro, 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Joe, I think velocity is important for guys coming back off rehab, things like that, to determine arm strength, but it's way down in determining how to get a hitter out. Movement, location, deception, control of your breaking ball behind in the count, throwing something other than a fastball and a fastball hitting count.
Now Castro going deep down the left field line. Juan Castro foul. And a 2-2 count. Castro thought he had his first. Just did die foul down the left field line. Harnish talking it foul. And happy at strike 2 instead of home run number 2 for the Dodgers here in the 4th. They've regained the lead 3-2, and the home run by Blowers, just his 3rd of the year. Now Castro pops it into left for Gilkey. 2 out.
Pitcher Tom Candiotti.
Juan Castro getting a chance to play because of the ankle sprain by Greg Gagne. Castro called up, getting a chance to start at short. Gagne about as good a defensive shortstop as the Dodgers have had in the last 20 years.
Well, 2 holes needed to be plugged by Fred Clare, the general manager of the Dodgers. One was third base with Tim Wallach moving on. And he traded for Mike Blowers and then signed Greg Gagne as a free agent. So he really shored up the left side, but Gagne on the DL right now.
Candiotti hits it well into right center field, but Lance Johnson. Easy for the center fielder to end the inning. A 1-out home run by Mike Flowers. Last year was with Seattle. This year with the Dodgers. It's his 2nd home run in as many games, his 3rd of the year. And the Dodgers regain the lead 3-2.
We're gonna hit the seas again once all these commercials end.
Some flights is hot and some flights when the heat is on.
Presenting sounds of the 80s. Sounds of the 80s. 18 of your favorite songs on cassette or compact disc for just $9.99. Then audition other Sounds of the 80s albums. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel anytime.
Every time you go
Sounds of the 80s is not in stores, so call now.
To order Sounds of the 80s, call 1-800-529-5959. That's 1-800-529-5959. Or send $9.99 for cassette or CD, plus $3.50 shipping and handling to Sounds of the 80s, Department 12, Richmond, Virginia.
We're back. Miss.
Bottom of the fourth inning, the Dodgers are back out in front. Home run ball off the bat of Mike Blowers and Tommy Lasorda. And the Dodgers out in front 3-2. Bottom of the fourth inning, it will be the heart of the order, 4, 5, and 6. Kent, Pettigini, and Jones. Jeff Kent is 0 for 1. Hitting .261. Knuckler fouled off to the right, strike one. Jeff Kent, guy who came up as a second baseman, hit 20 home runs with the Mets last year. So far, he has hit 5. That is well hit into left field, but not good enough as Hollingsworth back to get it. So 1 out, and Pettigini coming up. On Monday night, Fox invites you to enter a world where courage isn't an option, it's a way of life. If you ever wondered what makes a hero, you're about to find out. Don't miss the series premiere of the new Fox drama LA Firefighters, Monday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Here is Pettigini. Hitless as a Met, 0 for 5. Made his first start here last night, playing because of Rico Brogna's problem with his right shoulder.
Rico Brogna with his second cortisone shot in that shoulder 2 days ago, describing that shot before the game, and not pleasant. Rico shares the disdain for needles that I do.
0-1 to Pettigini, who's been with Houston and with San Diego, sitting over 340 at AAA. Mets called him up, and he's made 2 starts in a row.
And the reason the Mets called up Pettigini was so they could leave Butch Husky in right field and allow him to adjust further.
Into right center for a base hit. Pettigini's first as a Met, and he's on with 1 out here in the fourth. So the tying run is on for New York with Chris Jones coming up.
And go figure, the day after Pettigini comes up, Chris Jones is playing right field and not Butch Husky. So things change rather rapidly depending on what you've done for me lately, as Pettigini gets his first hit as a Met.
Chris Jones at the plate, 0 for 1, and his average only at .205. Trying to figure out Candiotti here in the fourth inning. Strike 1. Mike Cubbage threw the signs in his third base coaching box.
Talked earlier about the fact the Mets can't go toe-to-toe against the Dodgers in the power department. I think they have to run more, even with guys who can't run very fast. Pettigini being in that category.
Try to manufacture something against this Dodger team.
Well, you think of the elements against Mike Piazza throwing a runner out with a knuckleball. If Dallas Green can guess knuckleball, the bad right knee, he's using that big mitt in which to catch a knuckleball. Not only is a knuckleball tough to catch, but because of the big glove, a catcher can't find the ball in those big mitts.
1 on, 1 out. And that's ball 1. Chris Jones is a piece of the puzzle which really is just that, a puzzle here in New York of who is going to be playing right field. Husky a part of it. Carl Everett is in that proverbial doghouse. Chris Jones. Kevin Roberson was just sent down when they called up Pettigini, and combined only 8 home runs out of that right field position.
Actually only 5 home runs as right fielders, because 3 of those home runs came as pinch hitters. 1 by Chris Jones.
Jones now with a 2-2 count. Pettigini the runner at first with 1 out. Into center field, and Jones gets his first hit of the day. And now the go-ahead run is on with a tying run in scoring position.
Chris's father makes golf clubs in Syracuse, New York, and he goes down and golfs this one to center field. Chris's dad, a retired postal employee, and in his retirement for the last 4 years he makes golf clubs, and I understand Chris Jones can hit a golf ball out of sight.
I would imagine, as most can in this game, although some of them have no idea where they're going to land. 2 on with 1 out for Brent Maine. Takes a ball. Maine hitting .278, and he is what teams look for, a left-handed hitting backup catcher. Frontline catcher for the Mets is Todd Hundley, the switch hitting catcher, who has been slumping. 2-0 on Maine. Candiotti in some 4th inning trouble.
Well, we talked about it earlier. When Candiotti needs a strike, he throws the curveball. So we'll see if that's what Brent Maine gets right here.
Two on, 1 out. And now ball 3, 3-0. He got it, and Candiotti missed with it. Candiotti has to throw a strike, behind on the count, 3-0. That is well hit into right field, but did he pull it foul? He did. Maine has hit 1 home run this season, and he almost hit his 2nd to put the Mets on top.
That's a batting practice fastball. Tom Candiotti does not throw hard.
Just pleading with a baseball to stay fair.
I heard of body English. That's facial English.
Got out in front, the count 3-1. You think he'll see another fastball? Ground ball to second, might be 2. Inning over. 4-6-3. DeShields to Castro on to Queiroz. So Candiotti gets help with a double play ball, and after 4, the Dodgers still lead 3-2.
This is only a test. And this is a commercial.
Oh no, dinner time and that steak is hard as a rock. You need Miracle Thaw, the amazing new defrosting tray that perfectly thaws any food like magic in minutes. No batteries, no wires, no rays, no sprays. Just an incredible metal that actually absorbs the heat from the air and releases it back into the frozen food. Microwaves give you dry cooked edges causing stale flavor. But now, rock hard chicken breasts are moist and tender in as little as 8 minutes. Burgers can be ready for the grill in just 10 minutes. Try this ice cube demonstration at home and you won't believe your eyes. The tray is cool to the touch, but the cube melts away like it was on a hot griddle. Amazing. Even a thick T-bone steak can be butcher block fresh in under 30 minutes. Miracle Thaw, guaranteed to thaw quickly, safely, perfectly every time. Now only $19.95.
Credit card users call toll-free 1-800-652-4242. Sorry, no CODs. Call 1-800-652-4242 to order by credit card or for direct order mail address. For quick delivery order now, call 1-800-652-4242.
And now, back to our show.
We're into the 5th inning. The Dodgers bat. They lead 3-2. Now between innings, Dave Wallace, the pitching coach for the Dodgers, went over to talk to Tom Candiotti. A knuckleballer's got to be the most lonely guy on a pitching staff. What possibly could Dave Wallace be telling him?
I have no idea. He may be talking about his left leg. Pitching coaches see pitchers long enough to where they may not know about grip of a knuckleball, but see he's pointing to the front side of his body in a leg lift.
I think he's saying I think he's saying after the game, we'll go into the city, have dinner. My treat, if you can hang on to this 3-2 lead. We're in the 5th inning. And the top of the order, Roger Cedeno leads it off. Then Hollingsworth, then Piazza. Cedeno 5 hits last night. 0 for 2 today. Caught the knees, 1 ball, 1 strike.
We mentioned Cedeno with 5 hits in last night's game. The last Dodger with 5 hits, Brett Butler, back on April 20th, 1994.
1-1 to Cedeno. Strike 2. The doctors and the Dodgers were very encouraged by the news on the follow-up surgery to remove lymph nodes from the throat of Brett Butler following the removal of a cancerous tumor around his tonsil. There's one guy I wouldn't bet against. It would be Brett Butler. Harnish beats Cedeno to the bag for the first out here in the 5th inning. If Brett Butler says he's going to try to come back and play this year, I do not bet against him.
A player that both Dodger fans and Met fans are familiar with. He was with the Mets last year, but when he was with the Dodgers against Todd Hundley, watch this catch. That's the type of player he was. That was a real catch-22 right there, by the way.
Oh,
sorry.
That was in 1994.
I did that for Brett.
Ball 1 to Hollingsworth. I'm sure he appreciated it. Now, I'm not suggesting that this could have happened, but when Brett was hanging over the wall for quite a while, has anybody ever asked if that was the ball that Hundley hit, or did a fan just toss it to him? Hollingsworth grounds it up the middle, a 1-out base hit. And Hollingsworth on base for the 2nd time today. Right now, we'll take you back to Hollywood and Chip Carey for an update. Chip.
Joe and Tim, there's a new homer and RBI leader in the American League. Mo Vaughn just went upper deck at the Kingdom off Bob Malachi, a 3-run job, 21 homers, 59 RBIs. It's now a 5-2 Red Sox lead in the 5th. Back to you at Shea.
Thank you, Chip. Well, Boston comes into that game 9 games out behind the New York Yankees. Baltimore a game out. Toronto in the middle. Boston off to that terrible start, trying to regroup. When you are that far below the 500 mark, it is tough to make up ground and tough to get back into a race.
Well, you don't think long term. It's difficult in this game when you play a 162 game schedule to think long term anyway. You try to make it all up with one pop. It's like a football team being down 27-0 going into the 2nd half and trying to score 27 points on one play, or a hitter trying to hit a 5-run homer. You have to do that collectively, and that is a very important element of how to approach baseball on a day-to-day basis.
Check on Hollingsworth. Who was the last player to hit a 5-run homer?
Mike Shannon, your partner at St. Louis.
Anybody could do it. The Mooner could do it. 1 on, 1 out for Piazza. Mike's been on base twice with a walk and a hit. Dodgers batting and leading 3-2 here in the 5th. Harnish trying to make that perfect pitch to Piazza. He walked him his first time. Mike got a base hit his next, off the wall in left field, off the glove of Gilkey, then off the wall. And again, Harnish falls behind 2-0. Little red dot on first base, representative of Todd Hollingsworth, who sees a throw come over from Pete Harnish. Look at the other scores from around Major League Baseball. Here's that Boston-Seattle score. That caught the corner, 2-1.
You also saw the Cleveland Indians with a rare loss, 2-1 last night. Albert Bell going into Fernando Vina after being hit by a pitch, and a scuffle ensued at second base, and then Bell being hit in the 9th inning again, and then Taveras, their reliever, throwing behind a Milwaukee batter, and both benches emptied in a big brawl in Milwaukee.
Mike Matheny, the catcher for Milwaukee, out. First he slipped on the mound, then got up and just delivered. 1 on, 1 out, 2-1 to Piazza. Now 3-1. And Harnish back into trouble.
I would not send Hollingsworth on this pitch. I think Piazza should have every luxury of looking at the ball without the distraction of the runner running and have a chance to choose a pitch on a 3-1 count.
3-1 pitch. The runner is going. Strike 2, and Hollingsworth steals his second of the day. So the Dodgers are taking advantage of Todd Hundley's day off, as Brent Mayne is now 0 for 11 and throwing out base stealing.
But a case could be made that Piazza swung at this pitch with the diversion of having to look at the runner running. I think I don't agree with a power hitter up there, a guy who's locked in like Piazza, to be running on a 2-0 or a 3-1 count. I think those are real offensive counts for the hitter.
Now a 3-2 count on Piazza. That's out of play.
See, a right-handed hitter should have the luxury of selecting his pitch. I don't think that was his pitch, not because he swung through it, but you're just too anxious with the runner running. You're more inclined to protect the runner, and I don't think a 3-1 count's the pitch situation to do that in.
Again, a full count. Hollingsworth at second, 1 out here in the 5th. Chase that one, still 3-2. Shadows are a creeping. Just about to the mound. Harnish trying to pitch around a 1-out hit and a stolen base by Hollingsworth, and he's trying to get Piazza and Karros, who waits on deck. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and Piazza once more time. Mike Piazza, his second game back from the midweek knee injury in Philadelphia. Something that had been nagging him for the better part of the last month. Got it. 2 out. And the third strikeout for Harnish, none bigger than that one.
First baseman Eric Karros.
Pete Harnish reaching back and throwing the fastball right by him.
Ball jumped a little bit.
Yep, had a little hop on it.
And Piazza's the second out here in the 5th inning. Hollingsworth still at second for Karros. Eric was frozen on strike 1. Eric 0 for 1 with that walk. Looking for RBI number 30. One from Harnish moved him off the plate.
And not every pitch is designed to get a hitter out. That pitch, for instance, was just a show-me pitch inside off the plate to set up the breaking ball and the fastball away from Karros.
1-1 the count. Back inside, it missed again. 2-1. Karros had a breakthrough year last year. Hit just under 300, 298. 32 home runs and 105 RBIs. And he sees good pitching and good pitches to hit, with Piazza hitting in front of him, Mondesi hitting behind him. To the right side for Vizcaíno. And the inning is over. A 1-out hit by Hollingsworth. The Dodgers strand their 4th of the day. We're halfway through it at Shea. Bottom of the 5th inning. Mets bat trailing by 1.
We'll be right back.
I'm looking for a new baby.
The 80s are back. And they're hotter than ever. Time Life presents the Sounds of the 80s collection.
We come together to rock the track.
just $12.99.
Bump the jam, bump it up, yo,
Use your credit card and get this free bonus album, Ultra Mix, featuring 12 hot dance tracks.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
That's 30 hits for just $12.99.
Out of my dreams, into my car, together forever and never to part, together forever we two. Baby, do you know what that's for?
Then audition other 80s albums. Satisfaction's guaranteed. So order with your credit card and get 2 albums for just $12.99.
You're unbelievable.
Call 1-800-551-9696 to order Sounds of the 80s for $12.99 for CD or cassette, plus $3.99 shipping and handling. Use your credit card and receive a free bonus album. That's 1-800-551-9696 or send check or money order to Sounds of the 80s, Department 32, Richmond, Virginia, 23280.
Now back to our show.
Welcome back to Shea. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without express written consent.
Notice that disclaimer said the Office of the Commissioner.
You did
right?
it. I wasn't going to say it. There is no surname involved. Here is Ray Ordonez, the number 8 hitter. Harnish and Johnson to follow. Ordonez, a 1-out walk his first time to help along a rally. Both Mets runs scored with 2 out in the 3rd. RBIs by Johnson and Vizcaíno. The time that tied the game. Flowers has hit his 3rd home run of the year to put the Dodgers back up top. They lead 3-2. Nothing. Ordonez. A .312 hitter. Back to Candiati. 1 up, 1 down. Ordonez the first out here in the 5th inning, and Harnish coming up.
We talked about that big glove that Mike Piazza uses. Back in 1964, there was a rule change, a change to limit the size of a catcher's mitt. Now a catcher's mitt can be no larger than 38 inches in circumference and 15 inches from the heel to the tops of the fingers with the glove laid open, splayed.
One out, nobody on. Pete Harnish at the plate. Trying to bunt his way on, and Candiati will take care of it. 2 down. Candiati is the Dodgers starter, and well, he's right-handed, which is the way things have gone for the Dodgers since 1992.
September 24th, 1992 was the last time the Dodgers had a left-handed starter. 486 straight starts without a left-handed starter. Bobby Ojeda was the last left-hander to start for Los Angeles. That, of course, is a record far and away.
2 out, nobody on for Lance Johnson. To the right side for Karros. Good play. Can Candiati get there? Yes. And the Mets go in order in the 5th. Defense has helped out Candiati today for Los Angeles. And now after 5 in New York, Karros to Candiati. And a 1-2-3 Mets 5th. Dodgers lead by 1.
We'll be right back.
I am incredibly grateful for Better Together. It's been part of God's healing process in my own life, and it's helped me to see the way that God is moving through so many different lives. You know, you think about it. Somebody's in a studio in America sharing something, and somebody is in South Africa or the United Kingdom or somewhere around the world listening and learning from each other's stories. I want our program to go where Christian programming has never gone before. Because you think about the number of women in our culture who feel alone, who feel anxious, feel nobody understands them. Through the beauty of television and social media, we can come and meet with women and let them know you are not alone. And maybe the God that you think you've rejected, maybe that's not who he really is. Maybe he's somebody who sees you. Maybe he's somebody who understands. Maybe he's somebody who loves you. And maybe through Better Together, we could introduce you to the best friend you've ever had in your life.
Now back to our show.
Into the 6th inning, Dodgers leading 3-2. The defense has helped out Tom Candiotti today. How about the sights and sounds of the play made by Karros and Candiotti?
Sounds of silence.
Mondesi digs in to lead it off in the 6th inning. Ball 1 to Mondesi. So we will be bringing you that sound at times throughout the season. The mic'd bases. And it was a good defensive play by Eric Karros. Off the end of the bat. Off the bat of Mondesi. 1 up, 1 down as Vizcaíno makes the play to his left. And Mondesi's 1 for 3. Raul Mondesi still fighting to get into that groove. He's the first out here in the 6th inning for Delino DeShields. Delino, most of his career has been a 1 or a 2 hitter, but because of the strikeouts, they've had to move him down in the batting order. DeShields hitting in the 6th spot here. Delino led the Montreal Expos and led the league in strikeouts with 151 in 1991. Got away from it. Now he's going back to piling up the strikeouts, so he's back in the order. A little high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hitting in the 1 and 2 hole, you are more concerned with on-base percentage than average.
Now the 1-1 from Harnish. Pete falls behind. Harnish had a long first inning, walked 3, allowed a 2-run double to Mondesi. But he has really rebounded and pitched a strong game since the first.
Bulldog tenacity. One of the real leaders with the Mets.
Now a 2-2 count. Not only a leader on the field, Tim, but a vocal guy in the clubhouse and not afraid to get on somebody.
And the unfortunate thing about that is he's a pitcher. John Franco, another pitcher, one of the leaders with the Mets. The Mets really don't have a leader as far as a regular player is concerned. Todd Hundley is as close to that as you get.
Right at Vizcaíno. Good play. 2 out.
Bernard Gilkey could work himself into that as a leader, and so could Lance Johnson.
Back in the 4th inning, the Dodgers regain the lead on a 1-out home run by Mike Blowers. Went the other way as he did here last night. Last night a 2-run shot. Today a solo blast in the 4th. 3rd of the year, and that has the Dodgers out in front 3-2 here in the 6th. 2 out, nobody on for Mike. And strike 1 from Pete Harnish. Flowers very good defensively. Terrific arm at third base. And a big part of the effort for the Dodgers to improve their defense from years past. They've always had the great pitching, but they haven't had the good defense to go along with it.
Mentioned Jose Offerman. The past 5 years was a shortstop. Before this year, Greg Gagne and Mike Blowers obtained to shore up the defense on the left side. That last pitch, by the way, a purpose pitch by Harnish. He will come inside. That's what that does. You come inside on the 0-1 pitch, and then a hittable pitch becomes a pitch that a hitter will take, and that's what Blowers did. Fastball inside, slider on the outside part.
There are catchers who have told me, Tim, that if you can straighten up Blowers, you can hit the outside part of the plate and he just can't reach it. Behind on the count 1-2, he can't reach it. and strikes out to end the top of the 6th inning. 4th strikeout for Harnish. He needs some runs. Bottom of the 6th inning, Mets bat. They trail by 1.
We'll be right back.
Hi, friends. As the world begins to turn its back on Israel, just as the Bible foretold, you need to be prepared. That means turning to physical gold and silver for added financial security. I've discovered that you can place gold and silver in your IRA, 401k, or other qualified retirement account, completely tax and penalty free. Preserve Gold is the company that I trust, and they're giving away a free wealth protection guide to TBN viewers that explains everything. So give them a call right now.
Call now, 866-301-3138 for your free information kit to learn how you can put physical gold and silver into your IRA or 401k, and how you can even purchase precious metals for delivery direct to your home. Preserve Gold has hundreds of 5-star reviews and millions of dollars in trusted transactions. And you can get up to $15,000 in free gold and silver with a qualified purchase. Just call 866-301-3138 or text Rosenberg to 50505.
Our mission, return to program.
Bullseye.
Bottom of the 6th inning, the Mets have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters against Candiati, trailing 3-2. And the Dodger right-hander back to work. Candiati has allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. He's been helped out by good defense. And Vizcaíno first up, 1 out of 2. Candiati no strikeouts today and only 1 walk.
Jose Vizcaíno with his first RBI in June. This, of course, being June 1st. And the reason I say that, he's off to a good start. He had 2 RBIs for the month of May.
Up the middle to Shields. Can't handle it. And Vizcaíno on to start the inning. See how they rule that. Could be a hit or an error. It's a base hit. So Vizcaíno 2 out of 3.
I think that's a good call. DeShields had to go far to his right. The ball hits the heel of the glove. And Vizcaíno with an infield hit, his 2nd hit of the ball game.
DeShields has committed only 1 error in 52 games this season, and he's gone 48 straight without an error. So that keeps the string alive. And here is Gilkey with a tying run on and nobody out. Vizcaíno running, which you can do against a knuckleball type pitcher. And that's strike 1 on Gilkey.
First time the Mets have tried to steal in this game, but that was a hit and run. Mets are not a particularly fast ball club, but when they do run, it's usually part of a hit and run play.
Leadoff base hit by Vizcaíno. Gilkey took a ball, 1-1. Will the Mets start the runner again? Vizcaíno was running on the first pitch, was not, on ball 1 to Gilkey. Gilkey has hit 13 home runs, and Candiati checks on Vizcaíno, who has stolen 5 bases this season.
Candiati has gone 6 straight starts without anyone stealing against him. Good move to first base.
Into right center field, pretty well hit. Cedeno back to make the catch. A wonderful grab in right center field for the first out here in the 6th. Roger Cedeno takes an extra base hit away from Bernard Gilkey.
That was a good catch, but a very unsure catch.
Third baseman Jeff Kent.
It looked like the ball hit the heel of the glove, and he corrals it. He ends up barehanding the ball. The ball hit off the heel of the glove, and it hit the torso of Cedeno. So he ended up catching it. It didn't look pretty, but he got the job done.
It's a 1-ball-1-strike count on Griffey as he digs in. He has 2 RBIs today, still facing Tim Wakefield. And Griffey up for Seattle. The Mariners trailing 6-2 in that game with Boston. Ken Griffey Jr., as I mentioned, last 10 games into today, 20 RBIs. He has 2 today. And he hits one off the wall in right. So Griffey a double. That's his second hit of the day to go along with his 2 RBIs. And we bring it back to full screen action with the Dodgers and the Mets. One on, one out for Jeff Kent. Leadoff hit by Vizcaíno, then Gilkey robbed by Cedeno in right center. And Candiati keeping an eye on Vizcaíno. You would think that the opposition would rack up stolen bases against a knuckleball type pitcher, because if you guess right, the catcher has literally no chance to throw you out.
Well, we said earlier that we thought the Mets should run a little more. So far, they've only run 1 time or attempted it.
Running here, DeShields out at first base. Frank Howard arguing, the first base coach arguing that Karros came off the bag, and now Dallas Green is hot, and after Charlie Williams. DeShields made the play on the third base side of second base, and the only question is whether Karros kept his foot on the base.
The ball actually hit the heel of Tom Candiati. It was not through. It was through the wickets, but it hit part of the wicket going through. With Vizcaíno running, DeShields going over to cover, and since he was there and the ball caroms off the foot of Candiati, DeShields makes a terrific play. Off the heel of Candiati, DeShields on the bag, the bare hand pickup. It was very close at first base. He was out. Did Karros have his foot on the bag? No, he was safe. I thought he pulled his foot off the bag. I thought the throw beat him, but I thought Karros pulled his foot off the bag.
Yeah, there is no doubt the throw from DeShields beat the runner, Kent, to the bag. Now Pettigini grounds one through the right side. Here comes Vizcaíno. The throw by Mondesi, no good. Down to second, Pettigini. That throw no good, and we're tied at 3. A 2-out RBI hit by Roberto Pettigini to tie the game here in the 6th.
Pettigini's second hit in a row. Dallas Green trying to cool down after that argument with Charlie Williams, the first base umpire. Good base running by Pettigini. Keep in mind that Raul Mondesi has led the National League outfielders in assists for the last 2 years, 94 and 5. And that throw off to the first base side. Vizcaíno scores, and the throw by Piazza to try to get Pettigini too late at second.
And now Chris Jones at the plate with a chance to give the Mets their first lead of the day. That is well hit into left. The Mets will take the lead. Pettigini scores. Jones has a double, and it's 4-3 New York here in the 6th.
So the Pettigini hit scores Vizcaíno, and now the double by Chris Jones on the knuckleball. Stayed inside. Chris hammers it down the left field line, scoring Pettigini easily as the Mets take the lead for the first time in this game.
Pettigini, his first 2 hits as a Met. Now the Dodgers will walk Brent May, and Tommy Lasorda would rather pitch to Ray Ordonez.
This is an interesting play because the percentages got a left-hander there who does not hit a lot. Brent Maine is not the regular catcher. As a matter of fact, he's been up only 37 times this year, and Ray Ordonez is hitting .311. I'm not too sure I would do this. I know, you know, traditional baseball reasoning is you got a left-hander like Maine, and then a right-hander, as you see Chan-Ho Park, the right-hander warming for the Dodgers. But Ordonez is a battler, and you can't walk him in this situation. He's only walked 6 times this year. A good bad ball hitter and a good hitter for the first 2 months of the '96 season.
Brent Maine had grounded out twice. Once into a double play. They elect to put Maine on and pitch to Ordonez, who is a .300 hitter. In his rookie season, he's driven in 10. A little anxious, strike 1. Ordonez a chance to add to the Mets lead here in the 6th. 2 on, 2 out.
Wow. That last one really danced.
Now the 0-1. Saved by Piazza. 1 ball, 1 strike. You've got the pitcher, Pete Harnisch, on deck. But the only base that is open, third base. No one warming up for the Mets in their bullpen. 2 on, 2 out. Ordonez into right center. Cedeno over to get it, and the inning is over. The Mets take the lead for the first time today. 2 runs on 3 hits, a walk, 2 left. They've stranded 4. And now after 6, the Mets are out in front. We'll be back to Shea after these messages from your local station.
We'll be right back.
We've been collecting messages from our viewers, so we're going to have you read it on camera and then respond to the viewer however you feel led.
I'm going to cry. I literally got chills all over my body while listening to your story, Alexandra. My younger brother just passed away in May. My parents and I turned to the Lord, and our faith has never been stronger. He's given us a peace that surpasses all understanding. I relate to your story so deeply. Thank you for this. I needed to hear it.
You strong women of God have empowered and strengthened me in my lowest moments and have become role models and spiritual sisters for me.
Your authenticity is stunning, and the way you describe the character of God and how he works in your life is incredibly impactful.
As you've said about others, I'll say about you, you could read the phone book to me and not ever lose my interest. You are fire, my sister. Cindy, I don't know what to say. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for your encouragement. We need each other, don't we?
You, the viewer, has pushed me through seasons of my life to speak my faith, to really tell what I believe, and to encourage me to give what I needed.
You just never tire of remembering who he is, recalling the stories of who he's been, and spurring each other on toward all he has for us.
When we get real about what we've really been through, we help other people know they get real about who they really are too. And in that is real transformation power.
God is greater, bigger, weightier than any need that we have.
That's what we love about this, that we get to share our stories honestly and transparently, that sometimes we shed tears and sometimes we laugh. And the fact that you're at home, wherever you are watching this and joining in with us, I just want to say, welcome to the family.
Now back to our show.
We're into the 7th inning with the Mets out in front 4-3. 2-run bottom of the 6th inning. Here is today's Menon trivia question. Who are the only 2 players who hit 25 or more career home runs for both the Mets and the Dodgers? The answer either later this inning, depending on what happens, or sometime before we're finished here today. Next inning. Juan Castro leads it off, took a ball, and now hits one off the end of the bat into shallow left. Ordonez, one away. Dodgers now are going to lift their starting pitcher Tom Candiotti and send in a pinch hitter, Milt Thompson.
A trivia question, the guy that comes to mind, 25 home runs for the Dodgers and the Mets, Charlie Neal comes to mind.
Well, it's too bad that Charlie Neal comes to mind because that isn't one of them.
Well, you put that very nicely. I appreciate it.
It's our first day. I mean, I'm not going to shoot you down.
Well, I can't wait until week 18.
1 ball, 1 strike. Milt Thompson hitting only 143. Cedeno waits on deck. 2-1 on Thompson. Milt Thompson, I'm sure wondering, hey, why don't I get a shot out in left field? They've given a shot to everyone else. And the most pinch hits among any active major league ball player. Easy comebacker to Harnish. The underhand flip for the second out. Right now back to Hollywood. Chip Carey is standing by with an update. Chip, what do you have?
Joe, moments ago you saw Ken Griffey Jr. knock a double off the wall. Well, Paul Sorrento just drove him in. The double off the glove of Dwayne Hosey in left. He can't make the play. Jr. strolls in. Sorrento the double. It's 6-3 Red Sox now in the 7th inning. Back to you in New York.
All right, Chip. A 6-3 Boston lead. Defense has been such a big problem for Boston this season. Like Hosey could have caught that ball, but just couldn't hang on. What was that? Ball 1 on a 57-footer.
That was what it was.
Cedeno showing bunt. Now he will gently replace his heart back into his chest.
Showing bunt, skips rope, 57-foot slider.
And an amazed look on the face of Roger Cedeno.
It's not a real good play with 2 out and nobody on to bunt.
Trying it again.
But he's trying it again. Of course, the added advantage is that Cedeno gets a lot of singles anyway, and he's a fast runner. So with that in mind, it's not quite as bad for Cedeno to be bunting with 2 out and nobody on. Usually, baseball thinking traditionally is to try to hit an extra base hit.
That's strike 2 on Roger Cedeno, set up now at a ball and 2 strikes. And Harnish has come right after the Dodgers here in the 7th inning after his teammates gave him the lead. Two out, nobody on, and the 1-2 to Cedeno. Inning over. And for Harnish, his 5th strikeout. Time to stretch here at Shea Stadium. Mets bats. They lead the Dodgers 4-3.
We'll be right back.
Thank you, and welcome again to the Muppet Show.
It was the zaniest show on television.
Would you sing a song just for moi?
Introducing the one and only, the original, the best of the Muppet Show. Now on VHS and DVD.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so my typing is bad. Call this toll-free number now and get your first Muppets volume on VHS or DVD for just $19.99.
Doesn't look like a princess to me.
Watch it, hardware.
But that's not all. Call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card and we'll cut the price in half. You'll get your first Muppets volume on VHS or DVD for only $9.99. Laugh again at your favorite skit. And all the moments that make you smile.
Kermit, I am your guest.
This is your guest.
I've seen enough. Let's leave.
Then preview other great Muppet volumes. Keep only those you want. Cancel anytime.
Trust me.
Remember, call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card order and get this furry, fabulous VHS or DVD for only $9.99.
Wow, this is terrific.
The best of the Muppet Show is not available in stores. So don't wait. Call now.
See you later, alligator.
Call 1-800-219-5522 to order your first volume of The Best of the Muppet Show on VHS or DVD for only $9.99 when you use your credit card. Or send $9.99 plus $4.99 shipping and handling to the address on your screen. Call 1-800-219-5522 or order online at timelife.com.
Now back to our show.
A look at Hideo Nomo as we get into the bottom of the 7th inning. That's what he's doing this season. Last year, of course, the National League Rookie of the Year. In Japan, where Hideo Nomo is king, fans watch Nomo on their way to work as the game is being played live 16 hours earlier in Los Angeles. Nomo became Los Angeles' 4th consecutive Rookie of the Year and started for the National League in the All-Star game, led the league in strikeouts with 236. 6-4 this year, and now out of the bullpen. Former starter earlier this year is Chan Ho Park, a record of 3-2.
He has started 6 games. He's appeared in 15. Standard equipment. He throws fairly hard. A good slider, good curveball from Park.
Carl Everett will lead it off as a pinch hitter. Everett bats for Harnish. Harnish ends up going 7 innings, allows 3 runs on 4 hits. Everett hitting 170. Takes another strike, and it's 0-2. First inning of work for Park. Facing Carl Everett. And the rumor is Carl Everett is on his way out of New York if they can find a taker. They are actively trying to trade this outfielder.
So they can bring up Alex Ochoa, who is leading the International League in hitting, batting .377. 3 home runs in his last 3 games.
Not much of a swing for Everett. A strikeout in the first out here in the 7th inning. Here is the answer to our men in trivia question. The only 2 players to hit 25 or more home runs in a career for both the Mets and the Dodgers.
Not Charlie Neal, huh?
Eddie Murray, Darryl Strawberry. Although Strawberry hit only 38 with the Dodgers. Eddie Murray, however, is still plugging right along for Cleveland. And whenever he calls it quits, 5 years from then, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. Lance Johnson, 1 out, nobody on, took a ball.
I think with that answer, I could not see the forest for the trees. I will never forgive myself for not getting the answer to the Affleck question of the week.
2-0 the count on Johnson. Now 3-0. So Park working his way into trouble.
I said Affleck. I mean the Menon question of the week.
There's a strike.
Guess I got a slap in the face for that, right?
By Menon. Three and 1 the count on Johnson. Now ball 4, a 1-out walk. Chan Ho Park, first inning of relief work as he takes over here in the 7th inning and issues a 1-out walk. Strikeout and a walk. Take a look at our 7-11 game summary and see who the stars have been so far today. Mondesi, a 2-run double in the first. Johnson, Vizcaíno knocked in runs in the 3rd for the Mets. Blowers went deep. A solo shot, his 3rd of the year, but Chris Jones, an RBI double in the 6th inning to give the Mets their first lead of the day. And here in the bottom of the 7th inning, they still lead 4-3 and have Johnson at first, 1 out. For Jose Vizcaíno.
And a great job by Pete Harnish. He appeared to get stronger as the game became longer, giving up 2 runs in the 1st inning and the solo home run in the 4th to Blowers. Can only win this game now.
Tim, can you buy Menon products at 7-Eleven?
I suppose you can, yes.
Just a question. Doug Henry likely to be the next Mets pitcher. Vizcaíno's had a big day, a couple of hits. One of the game stars, an RBI, a run scored. Into center field. Cedeno doesn't have to move much. 2 out. So Park, after the one-out walk, comes back to get Vizcaíno, and now we'll deal with Bernard Gilkey. Mets have scored 4 runs on 7 hits today, but surprisingly, Gilkey has not been a part of the New York offense. 0 for 3. Did line out to right center and was robbed of a hit on a good running grab by Roger Cedeno in that 6th inning. Here in the 7th, bats for the 4th time today. Lance Johnson has 12 stolen bases this season. Ball 1 to Gilkey. These Dodgers just keep coming up with pitching, whether it's from the United States of America or their international scouting is unbelievable.
Extraordinary, it really is. Fred Clare largely responsible for that, the general manager of the Dodgers.
They pump a lot of revenue into international scouting.
Dodgers kiddingly refer to themselves as IHOP, with Tom Candiotti from the States, Estacio from the Dominican Republic, as is Ramon Martinez. Nomo from Japan, Ismael Valdez, who will start tomorrow's game against Mark Clark from Mexico. And then Chan-Ho Park, who's in the game now, from South Korea.
So he moved from South Korea to Los Angeles. Now he's been moved to the bullpen. And pitching here, keeping a close eye on Lance Johnson over at first. And they all sit together. Good group of young pitching, and they just crank it out year after year after year. That's strike 2.
Lance Johnson, meanwhile, may not set any records, but he has a lot of them. Matter of fact, he owns a record company, a recording company called Lance Productions. Has a new CD out. Now, he is not a performer, but he is the owner of it. It's based in Chicago, called Lance Productions.
Scott Radinsky for the Dodgers has a rock band. Put the two of them together. Beautiful music. 1 on, 2 out. And Park really worried about Lance Johnson over at first.
That's collusion.
It might be.
Fraternization, certainly.
1 ball, 2 strikes as Park tries to pitch a scoreless 7th. Good fastball, and Gilkey was frozen. That was heat from Chan-Ho Park, and we are through 7 here at Shea. Mets take the field in the 8th. They lead the Dodgers by 1.
Sit, Lofi. Sit. We'll be right back.
As we age, it's normal to lose muscle mass. Studies show that after 40, many people lose up to 8% of their muscle every decade. Muscle is essential to move well and maintain stability throughout your life. But the good news is, we can help in the solution. Introducing Ancient Nutrition's whey protein with added A2 milk protein. Designed to help you build lean muscle and maintain your strength. Packed with clean, grass-fed whey protein in every scoop, plus added A2 milk protein. Our whey protein delivers 23 grams of protein to fuel your body. Ancient Nutrition's added A2 milk protein ingredients are sourced from regenerative organic farms. That's just part of why Ancient Nutrition's whey protein is a nutrient-filled superfood packed with amino acids and protein. Plus, it includes clinically studied eggshell membrane collagen, helping reduce joint discomfort and supporting faster recovery after exercise. Available in 2 delicious flavors, vanilla bean and milk chocolate, for a protein shake you'll look forward to every day and promotes satiety. Don't let your age slow you down. Build and maintain the muscle you want for life's every movement. And today, when you make a purchase, you're supporting TBN's worldwide ministries. Save 25% off with each preferred customer order. And enjoy free shipping, all backed by our 30-day money-back guarantee. We even pay for return shipping when you provide an email. Call 1-800-520-0761 or visit tbnway.com, spelled TBNWHEY.com. Get started today. This limited time offer won't last long.
Bath, Lofi, bath. Now back to our show.
Mets on top 4-3, a new pitcher in Doug Henry. But you talk about how to enhance the sounds of baseball. Bruce Fleming certainly did that with that punch out of Bernard Gilkey, making the last out in the 7th inning.
93-mile-per-hour fastball from Chan-Ho Park, and Gilkey was frozen. Hollinsworth leads it off. The right guy's coming up for the Dodgers to do something about this 4-3 deficit here in the 8th inning. Hollinsworth, Piazza, and Karros. 2-0. Henry into the game. He is not allowed a run in his last 5 appearances. His ERA at 4.33. He's lowered his ERA from 5.95. Former closer with Milwaukee delivers a strike, and it's 2-1.
Had 29 saves with Milwaukee back in '92, and the Met bullpen becoming a lot more solid of late. Last year, the same problem. A tough first 6 weeks. Then they straightened out to become very formidable for the rest of the season. Henry trying to hold it for John Franco, who will enter the game in the 9th inning if the Dodgers fail to score here.
3 balls, 1 strike. The count on Hollinsworth with Piazza next. Full count.
Attaboy, Bruce. All right, Bruce. Bruce Fleming, one of the main reasons I have impaired hearing in my right ear, catching in front of Bruce for a few years.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Henry to Hollinsworth, a leadoff walk, and not a good start for Doug Henry.
Catcher Mike Piazza.
1 on, nobody out. And Pavlik, he's on the walkie-talkie. Forget the phone, he's on the walkie-talkie. Greg Pavlik, the pitching coach for New York, is on the walkie-talkie down to the bullpen. As Piazza stands in. Go ahead run at the plate. The Dodgers have the right guy in there. Leadoff man drew a walk, and now Piazza takes a ball. Piazza today, a walk, a single. His single nearly left the ballpark back in the 3rd inning. He has hit 14 home runs, driven in 40 as Dave Malicki gets ready for the Mets in their bullpen. Strike 1.
Wicked slider right there, and Piazza reacted like it was a wicked slider. Rarely see Piazza bailing out against a right-hander, but he did it then.
Well, he doesn't need to. The ball's out over the plate, into center, into right center field. He can get it out of any ballpark.
In any part of the ballpark, too.
1 ball, 1 strike. That's out of play right side. Good pitch, strike 2.
Here is that previous slider that we referred to. Watch the front side of Mike Piazza. Hitters refer to that as bailing. Wicked slider, and a true reaction to what it was. And then he came back inside with a fastball. Piazza's in the hole now.
1 ball, 2 strikes. But not your typical power hitter. A guy hitting .374. Spoils a pitch, still 1-2. Piazza has great opposite field power like Dale Murphy or Orlando Cepeda.
Should be against the catcher's fraternity to peak. But you can see Brent Main looking up at Piazza to see if he is setting up too soon. Catchers don't like to do that.
Last 2 pitches have been over the inner half, and Main sets up there again. Caught a lot of the plate. Piazza into center. Base hit in front of Lance Johnson. Hollingsworth will stop at second, and it's 2 on with nobody out. That's the difference between Piazza and most power hitters. He had 2 strikes. He put the bat on the ball and gets a big base hit.
Not only that, all power hitters, or most power hitters, get hits like this. If a guy doesn't have power, the outfielder isn't as deep, and Lance Johnson catches it before it hits the ground instead of making a superb play after it hits the ground.
Hollingsworth didn't get a great read on it, so he went station to station, ends up at second base. Piazza is the runner at first, but not for long. Chad Fonville will come off the bench and run for Piazza for 2 reasons. Tim, not only do you get the better speed with Fonville, that's obvious, and that's the go-ahead run, but you get Piazza out of the game, who still is bothered by the bad right knee.
Yeah, I think the former point that you made is the most important. You win the game more by putting, or the chances are you win the game by putting Fonville in as the trail runner at first base.
Especially with a guy like Karras at the plate. He takes a strike. So the runner at second drew a leadoff walk, Todd Hollingsworth. Then a base hit by Piazza. Chad Fonville comes in and he will do the running. And it's 2 on with nobody out for Karras, who is driven in 29, hitless today. Good pitch inside for ball 1.
Nobody's going to bunt in this situation with your cleanup hitter, especially a guy like Karras. But the risk for the Dodgers is the double play ground ball. He's grounded into 9 this year.
A long look by Henry. Good play by Ordonez for the force out, the double play. 6-4-3. And there aren't many who would start a double play on a ball hit there.
What a play by Ordonez. Not only the catch, but the throw. Watch the throw again.
He has the ability to throw strikes with his body in any position. And he threw a strike to Vizcaíno, who relayed it to first. A 6-4-3 double play, and now a runner at third, 2 out for Mondesi. Ball 1. I guess if you're going to see a play like that between these 2 teams, you expect to get it out of Ordonez, who game in and game out dazzles you with something from that shortstop position.
Twice today, the catch earlier in the game in the 2nd inning in foul territory. And now that double play. Oh, did the Mets need that one?
Now the tying run at third with 2 out. Thanks to the defensive help from Ordonez. Hollingsworth at third, 2 out. And a 1-1 count on Raul Mondesi, who has a 2-run double. He's 1 out of 3. Down the left field line. Will it stay fair? No. Strike 2.
Now Doug Henry flirted with Piazza inside with a fastball. Piazza singled to right center field. And now he does it again with Mondesi. In game situations, you don't want to get beat with anything other than your best pitch. And the best pitch now for Doug Henry is not his fastball. We've seen the quality slider. To me, I think that's the pitch to throw, even if you miss 3 times. And again, you have a very aggressive hitter in Mondesi, who will swing at a ball out of the strike zone.
Tying run at third, 2 out, and Mondesi set up at a ball and 2 strikes as Henry tries to pitch around a walk and a hit here in the 8th. 2-2, and Mondesi wouldn't chase. Dodgers thought they had something here in the 8th inning, put their first 2 on, but Karros grounded into a 6-4-3 double play.
Here comes the slider right here.
2-2 pitch. Almost backed up and caught the inside corner. Full count.
So the 3 fingers that Brent Maine put down, calling for the slider. The ball backs up and stays inside.
Ball 3, 3-2. Base hit would tie it. Off the end of the bat. Henry, a good play, inning over. A leadoff walk, a base hit by Piazza, but Ray Ordonez, the rookie shortstop, spoils the 8th for LA. The 6-4-3 double play, and the Mets hanging on, leading 4-3.
Two-time Grammy winner Kelly Clarkson talks about breaking out.
There's off days where I'm like grocery shopping and someone comes up to me and they're like, hey, and I'm like, oh God, I have a planet on the side of my face. It's embarrassing, obviously.
Kelly struggled with breakouts as a teen. Then the celebrity spotlight brought them back.
I think it was like right after we started doing Idol, there was so much stress, and I started breaking out all along my chin. My skin, it's my job, so obviously you don't want to look like a pizza.
Then Kelly found a beauty secret that worked. Proactive solution.
When I found Proactive, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is amazing. Like, I just remember seeing results right away. Before I started using Proactive, it was just an uphill battle. After Proactive, it's great. It's just blemish-free, and that's what I like.
Order now and get a 30-day kit of Proactive for just $19.95.
The cool thing about Proactive is that you see results right away. And that's what people like.
Proactive is the #1 best-selling acne system in America. Named Best Acne Treatment by Allure magazine.
Even the first night I used Proactive, you know, it just felt so good and it felt so clean and fresh.
With Proactive, I can walk down the streets and know that people are not staring at bump after bump after bump. They're staring at me.
With Proactive's proven 3-step system, you can heal acne today and prevent future breakouts tomorrow.
You know, it doesn't dry out the areas that aren't having problems, and it does fix the areas that do. I don't know how they do it, but it works.
With our 60-day money-back guarantee, you can try Proactive risk-free. As a special free bonus, you'll get the amazing refining mask designed to zap your problem zits overnight.
When you wake up with clear skin, it just makes your whole day better. I think it's cool. I think it's a great skincare line, and I think that it's done nothing but help me.
Order now and get priority mail shipping at no extra charge. Call 1-800-230-9090.
Things are going well after Proactive, so use it.
On your mark, get set. Now back to our show.
Well, Tim, not only did Ray Ordonez make a dazzling double play or start one, but Henry saved the lead for the Mets with his glove.
All 3 outs in that inning were just terrific. Henry catching that ball behind him, and the underhand throw to Pettigini to get Mondesi.
If that ball trickles away with Mondesi's speed, it's a tie game. A runner at third at the time, 2 out that end of the inning, and Chan-Ho Park now working to a new catcher as Tom Prince takes over behind home plate. Kent takes a strike. Jeff Kent hitless today. Tom Prince now doing the catching. Strike 2. Tom Prince, the backup to Mike Piazza. Not much of a swing by Kent, totally jammed, and Castro makes the play. 1 out.
There are very few baseball fans that buy baseball tickets to see shortstops play. Ozzie Smith was one of those. Cal Ripken certainly one of those. And Ordonez, with plays like this, is going to be one of those types of players.
There was a quote attributed to Ozzie Smith after the Cardinals opened the season here in New York, and we showed you the great play that Ordonez made down the line. Franco warms up in the bullpen. I was surprised to hear Ozzie Smith say it, but he did. He said, that guy is definitely the second coming of me. That is high praise from a future Hall of Fame inductee.
really is.
Pettigini at the plate with a count of 2-0. Roberto's had a big day. His second day as a New York Met. He's 2 out of 3. The game-tying single. And he scored the go-ahead run back in the 6th.
I have said about Ordonez that he's only 23 years old, and his hands and his feet are so quick. He's the type of player that has to grow into his hands and his feet. Almost like a gangly teenagers they have to grow into their feet. But sometimes the feet are so quick, the hands are so quick that they react faster than the mind can. They
3
did
balls
on that double play.
3 balls and a strike on Pettigini, full count. And I would imagine at times that's why sometimes Ordonez will make an error on a routine play.
Right, a double error. His first 2 errors of the year, a play like that with the bases loaded in Colorado. He bobbled the ball, then had no chance and threw it away.
More heat from Chan Ho Park, and the second out of the inning, as Park has struck out 3 in an inning and 2/3. Pettigini goes down, and the batter will be Chris Jones. Next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Fred McGriff and the World. That is next Saturday. Chris Jones looks at ball 1 high from Chan Ho Park. Base is empty for Jones, 2 out. And a 2-0 count. John Franco getting ready to pitch the ninth. He will deal with DeShields, Blowers, and Castro, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for Los Angeles. Jones couldn't catch up. 2-1. 26,445 at the ballpark here today, and they have been treated to a well-played game. Good pitching, good defense on each side. Top of this 8th inning saw the best defense of the day. Two out, nobody on, and now a 3-1 count on Chris Jones, who let out a scream as that ball came up and in.
Enhancing the audio once again.
Close.
Yes, it was.
And ball 3, 3-1. Pretty good swing, 3-2. How about the Dodgers to have someone like Chan Ho Park to come out of the bullpen and pitch in middle relief? Talk about getting you to your closer or even your setup man, Osuna. There aren't many better than Chan Ho Park. It's out of play, still 3-2.
He's actually a starting pitcher that's pitching in middle relief. As you mentioned earlier, starting the season and the rotation, 6 starts, and in the bullpen, the Dodgers very strong pitching. Second in earned run average in the National League as Dave Wallace looks on.
3 balls, 2 strikes. That's out of play. The Yankees have a right-hander. Joe Torre refuses to put in the rotation because he is so good pitching 3 times a week. Mariano Rivera getting you to the late innings and to your closer.
Mariano Rivera earlier in the year pitched 26 consecutive innings without allowing a run. 15 straight innings without allowing a hit.
Hart blows away Chris Jones, and that's 4 strikeouts in 2 innings for Chan Ho Park. He has done his job. Now with John Franco do his. 9th inning, Mets lead the Dodgers by 1.
We'll be right back. Bullseye.
Since the dawn of the great game, every player has heard the call of destiny. But who from this era will prove worthy of legend? Will it be the one who has mastered both sides of the game? Maybe the pitcher with ferocious power to unleash. Perhaps the Herculean hitter on a mission to become one of the all-time greats. or the man who sees all and can change the game with just one swing? The path of legend is laid before them. Who will emerge victorious? The world awaits, and the journey begins.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Now back to our show. What?
Ninth inning rolls around here at Shea Stadium. The Mets take the field, leading the Dodgers by 1 at 4-3. At the end of the game, Tim and I will select today's genuine Chevrolet player of the game. That'll be coming up and is still up in the air, although I'm sure we have a couple of candidates in mind. New third baseman is Edgardo Alfonzo. Takes over for Jeff Kent to improve the defense. And on the mound, looking for the save, the left-hander, John Franco.
John Franco, the only left-hander in the history of baseball with more than 300 saves. He has 10 this year, a 2-2 record. Both of those wins, by the way, were on blown saves.
Here is the 300th save in the wonderful career of John Franco. It came on a surreal night, maybe somewhere in London or Shea Stadium. And John Franco became the first left-hander to pick up 300 saves. And now he takes over with 10 on the year. And number 11 would wrap up the 23rd win of the year for these young New York Mets.
I don't know about you, Joe, but my player of the game so far, you don't know what's going to happen, obviously, but my player of the game is Ray Ordonez.
Scoring runs at times is overshadowed by preventing runs, and that was done in the 8th inning.
First time I ever heard that was from the ex-Cardinal manager, Whitey Herzog. As you look at that, down and out, 1-21. (1-21) when trailing after 8 innings. Mercy.
John Franco facing Delano to Shields. 1 pitch. 1 out. The Shields ends the day 0 for 4. So DeShields the first out here in the 9th inning. That'll bring in Mike Blowers. There are some who say that left-handed hitters fare better against John Franco. They get a better look at this closer.
Well, you take away the straight change, but that hasn't been the case this year. Left-handers hitting right around 215 against Franco this year. That was that changeup that he throws low and away to right-handers. The first pitch to Mike Blowers.
Blowers has homered today. He did that in the 4th. He homered here last night. He has 3 home runs for the year. He's ahead in the count 1-0. Missed the inside corner. 2 balls, no strikes. Mike Bush has come into the on-deck circle. Looks like he will hit for Juan Castro. To the left side for Alfonzo, just into the game. Nothing to it, 2 out. You come in for defensive help. When you get that first chance, it doesn't matter how good you are, you got to think twice, and Alfonzo made that play easily.
I think it's the toughest thing in baseball to come in for late inning defense. If you do it, you were supposed to have done it. If you don't do it, you're the GOAT.
Here is Mike Bush pinch hitting in the last hope for the Dodgers here in the 9th inning. Dodgers came into today a record of 29-26, 5.5 games behind San Diego. And the Padres play later tonight in Philadelphia. Strike 1 to Bush. 2 out of 7 with a home run and 2 RBIs as a pinch hitter. One ball, 1 strike. Mike Bush is the only Dodger to hit a pinch hit home run this season. To Ordonez, fitting that he would end it. Dodgers go in order. Franco gets save number 11. And right on cue, Tim McCarver, today's genuine Chevrolet player of the game, Ray Ordonez.
He earned it too. 2 brilliant plays, but the big play of the game was in the 8th inning with runners on at first and second and nobody out. A one-hopper, and I mean a rope, off the bat of Eric Karros, and watch Ordonez.
Here are the final total score of this afternoon's game for the Mets. 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error.
That won the game for the Mets.
That's
there
right.
is no doubt.
Yep.
Winning pitcher.
Our thanks to John Filippelli, our producer, Bill Webb, our director, everyone who helped bring you the sights and sounds from New York. Tim McCarver, that was fun. Let's do it again next week.
All right, you're on.
So for Tim McCarver, I'm Joe Buck saying so long from Shea Stadium. The final score is the Mets 4, the Dodgers 3. Chip Carey, Steve Lyons, and Dave Winfield will be along with scores and highlights after these messages. Good night from New York.
This has been a presentation of Fox Sports, home to Major League Baseball, the National Football League, and NASCAR.
3, 2, 1. See ya.